Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. It is time to clean the carburetor on this beast. I'm just like making note of where the various lines are, and it's not a bad thing to even shoot video of this. That way you could see where things are. Should something not make sense in the future, right? You could go back to the videotape and see what you need to see. Anyway, this thing came without an air cleaner. That's a bad thing. But the carb's here. Looks like one Phillips head there, and it'll come off. Then I gotta take off the choke, the cap, and life will be good. Some people like to watch me work, so let's do it. Start out with the cap on top. The problem is I'm undoing it. It's kind of pre-loading. It's not slipping. The cable isn't slipping inside the adjuster there. Like if I let this go, it's going to spin right back in. Wow. Were they really... There you go. That's off. Phillips head. Kind of want to pay attention while you're doing all this. I mean, your hands are doing what they're doing, but you should be looking to make sure that no belts are torn. You're not seeing huge cracks in the transmission. I already made note that the chain is crazy tight. That's a bad way to run a Polaris. You could break the end shaft off the engine. You can damage the input of the transmission. I was already warned about that by a buddy of mine that works on these things. Well, it's off. I'm glad that I don't need to take any of this off. I am going to need to get that choke out. Good, this one's spinning. All right, not too bad. I think I'll set it up. We'll look on the inside and see how bad it looks. This is interesting. As you give it throttle, and it seems to be gummed up, you actually, this is the oil injection line. This is where the oil comes from the tank. So it looks like you inject the oil directly into the crankcase, and that's where it inhales it from, right? Part of the cable, right, goes through, and I have my carburetor slide, right, and the other piece of the cable goes down there where that oil line goes. So that's kind of interesting, though. Then you have something come back up. I'm not quite sure how that whole oiling circuit works. I really just want to, I'll get it running on the premix, and then we'll worry about that. Hopefully it'll smoke like crazy, which means it's oiling, which will make me happy. Oh, there we go. Now I already broke these loose. I didn't want to be fighting with them on camera. They actually came loose pretty easily. When it comes to working on the Phillips heads from China, I've actually been relatively happy with this Quinn. It used to be you were able to buy them at Harbor with the 20% off, 25% off on the holidays. Right, they're only like, I think they're $3.99 for a set of two. Right, and they're actually decent screwdrivers when it comes to getting this Phillips head stuff apart. These Phillips head made in Asia. A lot of times your normal Phillips doesn't do a very good job with them. The Asian Phillips are a little flatter. I think the blade goes in a little, has to go in a little deeper. Okay. Try not to wreck the gasket. It's really kind of poor. Oh, there we go. The floats are stuck. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're really, really stuck. Is this complete? Yeah, I don't know if this is complete. Right, you got the stuck floats here. I mean, they're not moving at all. Oh, wait. No, they do move. They slide up. Okay, you guys are learning about this stuff as I am. And that's moving too. It's cool that there are two floats. That way one doesn't flood everything out. It actually doesn't look half bad inside. Zoom in a little bit. So we'll give this thing the nice clean up, rinse out, clean the jets up, and let's hope for the best. So there isn't much to take apart on this. I already tightened this up. It was like 1 or 3/4 of a full turn in. Just under a full turn out. I'm probably going to make it 1 full turn out. There should be a spring. There it is. Kind of get used to where things are, and you don't want to lose them. So that comes out. This guy comes off. I already loosened that too. It appears clear. We'll look at that in a second. Nothing in here to fall out. Then the old solvent. I don't know if there's... Yeah, it doesn't look like anything, like there's a screwdriver slot there. I'm going to put a hose on this and make sure this is working properly. I'm not going to mess with it. The carb actually appears pretty clean. Right? Hope it's jetting in here somewhere. Yeah. I could see when I put solvent in here, it blows into the bottom of the carburetor. Yeah, this carb actually looks pretty good. I don't know if I could show this to you. Sometimes the hull shows up, sometimes it doesn't. I thought I was seeing. Yeah, there it goes. You can see that's all clear. Somebody must have been in here cleaning this thing up because it really looks like it's in pretty nice shape. Yeah, I've kind of blown solvent through all the jets, right? You want to make sure everything's nice and clean. And then there's a couple in here that I already ran solvent through. We ran solvent through here, and you can actually see the daylight. Yeah, you guys can see the daylight down there. Yeah, all the passengers appear pretty clean. Sometimes more is better with this. The carb's pretty easy to get off, so I'm not going to go too crazy. I'd rather not break anything. So yeah, I think it more or less got an inspection. There really wasn't too much to clean. The carburetor is back on, and you can see the drip, drip, drip. It appears to be flooding. I tapped it. Everything appears to be good. Those little slide up, turn off the fuel things must not be functioning quite right. If you open this up, the gas really pours out of there. Anyway, before I call it, before I scratch my head anymore with this carburetor, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to give it a start. Let's see what happens. See what it does. I want to start it up in gear and see if it moves a little. Come on. It already swallowed all the gas. In here. I'm using the 50 to 1. 40 to 1. So hopefully that's good enough. It's in gear. Gotta love that. You guys see any smoke? So it seems to run. The carburetor needs a little more love and attention. What does it not do? I had it in gear and it doesn't seem to do anything. So I'm going to have to get that cover off and see what its major malfunction is. One has to be careful with these all-terrain vehicles that somebody worked on first, right? It can really become a money pit. But let's see what's going on in there, then we'll go forward.